Calling this a Super Bowl ad is also not fair because it turns out that this ad cost about $10,000 and it only aired in the Fresno area of California, right? So calling this ad a Super Bowl ad is basically like the mayor of Jaunpur declaring himself the Prime Minister of India. I've been hearing a lot about people talk about farmers' protest and how Modi is losing the narrative battle when it comes to the farmers' protest. Because you might have seen recently that a bunch of like uncles, got together and I think they published a Super Bowl ad. And that Super Bowl ad apparently is talking about the farmers' protest. So let me just show you what exactly it is that I'm talking about. This is the so-called Super Bowl ad that the farmers shared, or that some people shared in America. But calling this a Super Bowl ad is also not fair because it turns out that this ad cost about $10,000 and it only aired in the Fresno area of California. Right? So calling this ad a Super Bowl ad is basically like the mayor of Jaunpur declaring himself the Prime Minister of India. So this is not a Super Bowl ad, but when this ad came out, I saw a couple of very interesting tweets. I saw people talk about, oh my God, man, India is losing like the narrative battle, and India generally wins the narrative battle, and India is losing its prestige in the world, and all that kinds of general nonsense. Let me read one of these tweets out to you. This is one of the tweets that was shared. New Delhi is losing the global battle of narratives on the farmers' protest issue. To this point, not many abroad are buying its claims of a global conspiracy. This is significant given that India has so often won these battles in the past and has expected to win them too. Another one is here from our very own Brown Sahib outside, Sadanand Dhume. He's sharing a Manu Joseph article, which is saying the BJP has the talent of preaching to the converted, but not to the rest. Any priest can preach to converts, but it takes a prophet to convert. On why India's ruling party lacks the ability to make the case for its farm laws. Basically, what they're saying is that that BJP does not know how to increase its base. BJP only knows how to preach to its own base. So, first of all, they did the same thing, you might remember, during the Lynchistan issue. During the Lynchistan issue, you had all these celebrities, you had all these foreigners, you had all these Indian and overseas mainstream organizations that were talking about how Hindus and the Indian government is murdering Muslims, and how Modi is losing the narrative that India is a democracy. Indian democracy is failing because of this Lynchistan narrative. India is heading headlong towards fascism because of this Lynchistan narrative. India Spend, that company, had created this hate crime tracker, which ultimately proved out to be completely false, completely full of lies, and eventually it got deleted as well. But every single media organization, whether it's New York Times, whether it's India Today, whether it's Washington Post, whether it's BBC, NDTV, Wire, Scroll, Alt News, all of them shared this Lynchistan narrative. And what was the result of this circle jerk? What was the result of all of these people, while they were busy pleasuring each other on how Modi was losing this narrative battle? What happened in that meantime? In the meantime, the 2019 elections happened. And what happened in the 2019 elections? There was a 16% increase in vote share across two general elections. That's a near 80% increase in the traditional 20 to 21% vote share. Those numbers should astonish people. And right here as well, if you look at the numbers of who voted for BJP, you will find literally everyone except for Muslims. Every single group. The BJP had increased its vote share across every single group in India, but the most among the poorest. The BJP is called Adani Ambani ki party. The BJP is called the upper caste party, right? But the biggest vote share jump that it saw was among the poorest population. was among the so-called subalterns. BJP secured its highest gains among the rural voters in 2019. In the 2019 general elections, the BJP increased its vote share among every single group apart from the Muslims. And that's obviously the sustained campaign that has been run against the BJP. It doesn't really surprise me that the Muslims have not voted for the BJP yet. First, a certain amount of Hindu consolidation and resurgence needs to happen before the Muslims can be not converted, but can be like convinced, is the word that I was looking for. Convinced about the Hindutva project and how they very much have a place in the Hindutva project. A fragmented Hindu society is not convincing anybody. And even during the Lynchistan narrative, people were angry at the lies. And when they saw that so many people were attacking India through lying, through making up these false narratives, it created sort of like a siege mentality in the brains of those Indians when they went to vote in 2019 as well. And even right now, a majority of Indians support these laws. That is why every single political party in India has had a version of these laws. Whether it's Congress, whether it's Akalis, whether it's NCP, every other political party, whether it's Aam Aadmi Party, they have all supported these laws in the past. And even the United States realizes this as well. Because despite Canada ke uncles trying so hard, despite America ke uncles trying so hard, despite hamari Vidhayak ki Bhatiji ji, she tried so hard to make everything about herself, so people stop focusing on India. Despite that, there was a recent conversation between the first very conversation between Modi and Biden, and there seems to have been absolutely no discussion of the farmers' protest in the White House readout. So this is the readout of Biden's call with Narendra Modi. And in this readout, you can go check. This has been shared by Aditya Raj Kaul. There's absolutely no mention of the farmers' protest. There's talk about free and open Indo-Pacific, supporting freedom of navigation, territorial integrity, stronger regional architecture, norms around the world, shared commitment to democratic values is the bedrock for US-India relationship. They resolved that the rule of law and democratic process must be upheld in Burma. The leaders agreed to stay close in touch on a range of global challenges and look forward to what the United States and India will achieve together for their people and their nations. And the best way that I can explain this is this tweet by Abhijit Iyer Mitra. All of those people have probably a lot of fire coming out of their asses right now. So this was the result of that entire campaign, right? I can't believe that Mia Khalifa eating gulab jamun sent by Jagmeet Singh and Sasta John Oliver's video did not sway US foreign policy towards India. Unbelievable. Blows my bloody mind.